Okay, so this is just a quick thought that I want to capture, but I'm getting ready for work, so I can't spend a lot of time on this. So I was just looking at my roommate slash landlord's human design yesterday and just kind of like explaining it to her. And she's a projector. She has a defined will center and an undefined G center. And so this video would be like relevant to you if you have the opposite, if you have an undefined will center and a defined G center. And so the reason why I want to make this video is because in the conversation that we were having, and like we were talking about the different aspects and I was explaining what things mean and then when we were talking about the G center and I'm kind of describing them like that's your sense of identity, sense of like feeling connected to yourself, how you show up in the world. And it's like this finding out who you are. And when it's not defined, that's going to be like a variable that's going to change from day to day. And that's actually natural and healthy for the people who have undefined G centers. And so when I was describing this, she was like, the first thing that she said was like, and it's like about your like self-love, like your like ability to love yourself. And I was like, interesting, because that's whatever we're talking about the will center, we talk about your like self-worth, your ability to feel like that deep sense of intrinsic love for yourself, and how when it's undefined, like a lot of people have, and myself, we tend to have like struggled either in a big way or for a long time with genuine like self-appreciation and self-love. And I thought this was so interesting when like her just like innate kind of interpretation of the G center was, yes, it's like a vessel of love, right? Like that's definitely accurate. But I kind of felt, I'm like, can we hack the system? Can we, as people who have undefined will centers and defined G centers, can we draw from this sense of love and sense of direction and sense of identity that we have when it's defined, right? When we understand, like when we get to that point where we know who we are, because that's the path of a defined G center. And it's like before you get to that stage, nothing makes sense. And then I feel like your will center is like acting up. Okay, it's like you don't know who you are, even though that's what you're meant to do. That's your purpose in life with a defined G center, is to know yourself and then to express yourself from that deep knowing. And it's like your will center is like out of whack until you get to that point. And so in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, like I don't have a defined will center and like blah, blah, blah. Like I can't follow through on things. And like, I'm always going to struggle with self-worth and self-love, but maybe not. Maybe we could just focus on finding ourselves, have that be like our main priority. And within that process, we can constantly go back to our G center to find that self-love and stop. Like for me, it's been such a like obsessive point knowing or finding out that I have an undefined, completely open actually will center. And it kind of like messed with my head a little bit, even though I had just gone through like a deep evolution, spiritual transformation of like deeply finding myself and loving myself. And then I got completely burnt out and that everything went fucking sideways. So after that, I was just like in recovery mode. I was like not productive. I stopped doing my self-love practices. Like I stopped like even like knowing how to love myself. Like it was like a really strange phase. And then I found human design. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, that makes so much sense that I've always struggled with this. And then it became like this big block now that I'm like, oh, I can't follow through on things, blah, 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 blah. It was a mess. Okay. But I want to hack the system. I want to see where I can leverage something else in my chart that I know that's like deep and solid and consistent and and reliable. You know, like this right here, like if you have a defined G center, just do this for a while. Like just like tap in the center of your chest. Like it's like activating. It's like a signal, like talking to your truest self, and it's like a beacon of discovering who we are and what we're passionate about and what we're meant to focus on in this life. It's like so fucking powerful. And that is love. You know, like that is love for yourself. That is love and appreciation for who you are and for what you like and for what you're meant to do and be and become in this world. And we don't need to have a defined will center to feel that sense of love for ourselves. So I hope that this message reaches the right people, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.